Within the silence of the sacred pages, secrets lie hidden, so deep that they defy human logic. Echoes of a distant past, where the impossible seemed ordinary, questions without answers, enigmas that have stood the test of time, challenging scholars, archaeologists and theologians alike. The Old Testament is a treasure chest filled with mysteries. But what if some of them were more than just ancient stories? What if they carried secrets that could change everything we know about our existence? Since the dawn of time, humanity has sought to understand the unknown. Where was the Garden of Eden located? Was it merely a metaphor or a real place, hidden somewhere in a forgotten corner of the earth? And what about the Nephilim, the giants mentioned in the Book of Genesis, who seemed to possess power beyond human comprehension, mythological beings, or hybrid creatures that once walked among men? And what if I told you there is a book banned from the Bible that holds disturbing revelations about the beginning of the world? The Book of Enoch disappeared from the sacred scriptures, but some copies survive. What was so dangerous that it had to be removed? The truth about fallen angels, celestial conspiracies, and forbidden secrets. But the mysteries don't stop there. The Ark of the Covenant, which carried the power of God, vanished without a trace. Where is it? Hidden beneath the sands of time, or guarded in a place so inaccessible that no one will ever find it? And the Tower of Babel, was it just an ancient construction, or a real attempt to reach the heavens? The waters of the Red Sea parted for Moses, but what really happened to Pharaoh's army? Historical records don't explain their fate. They vanished without a trace, an entire army swallowed by nothingness. And the manna that fell from the sky, a divine gift, a celestial food, or an unexplainable phenomenon that defied the laws of nature. Who would have imagined that food itself could carry one of humanity's greatest mysteries? Then there is one of the Bible's most unsettling accounts, Ezekiel's vision, rotating wheels, intense lights, advanced technology in a time when nothing like it should have existed. Could this be evidence of contact with intelligences beyond our understanding? And what if there was a book, a record of every soul that has ever lived and that ever will? The Book of Life. What would happen if someone uncovered its secrets? And Mount Sinai, the place where Moses received the tablets of the law. But what if that encounter was something more than just a divine revelation? Lights, thunder, unexplainable manifestations. What really happened on that sacred mountain? Of all these questions, one remains. Are these mysteries merely legends or fragments of a forgotten truth? Get ready. What you are about to uncover may change the way you see human history. What if these enigmas concealed an even greater secret? A secret that connects us to the divine. Curious to learn more? Then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss anything from this journey. Now, let's dive into the 10 most unexplainable mysteries of the Old Testament and reveal the secrets that have remained hidden for so long. Imagine an untouched paradise, a sanctuary where life thrived in perfect harmony. At the heart of this divine refuge stood two trees, guardians of an ancient secret, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. According to the biblical account, this was humanity's first home, the Garden of Eden. But if it truly existed, where is it now? Was it destroyed, hidden, or does it remain intact, veiled from mortal eyes? Genesis describes Eden as a place nourished by a river that divided into 4 branches, Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. Yet today, the landscapes of Mesopotamia hold no trace of this lost paradise. Could Eden have been a metaphor, or a real place whose location was erased from history? Some theories suggest that Eden may lie submerged beneath the waters of the Persian Gulf. Others speculate that it could be hidden somewhere in the unexplored regions of the Middle East, or even in an inaccessible dimension. What we do know is that after Adam and Eve's fall, God placed cherubim with flaming swords to guard it. But what if this account was not merely symbolic? What if Eden still exists, invisible, protected by something beyond human perception? Many believe that Eden was not destroyed, but removed from this world. Some scholars draw parallels with the concept of a hidden kingdom, similar to descriptions of a celestial realm reserved only for the chosen ones. Could it be possible that Eden exists in another reality, accessible only through divine means? The mystery of the Garden of Eden continues to baffle scholars and archaeologists. If its location were ever revealed, what other secrets of creation might be uncovered? And most importantly, could the gates of paradise ever reopen? Now let's move on to another, even more enigmatic mystery. The Nephilim, the giants of Genesis 6. Who were these colossal beings? In the depths of time, when the earth was still young, a mysterious event altered the course of humanity forever. Genesis 6 speaks of beings known as the Nephilim, colossal giants born from a forbidden union between the sons of God and the daughters of men. But who were these beings? Were they mere legends, or is there evidence of their existence? Biblical accounts describe the Nephilim as formidable warriors, beings of immense power and extraordinary size. The Book of Numbers recounts how the spies sent by Moses to the Promised Land were terrified upon seeing them. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. And this is not the only mention. The Book of Enoch, an apocryphal text, details how fallen angels, called the Watchers, descended to earth and taught humanity forbidden knowledge. As punishment, these angels were imprisoned, and the Nephilim were destroyed. But if they were wiped out, why do so many stories persist about them? Some theories suggest that remnants of the Nephilim survived Noah's flood and later appeared as figures like Goliath, the giant defeated by David. Some even believe traces of their lineage still exist today, hidden in unknown genetic records. Archaeologists and explorers have reported discoveries of enormous skulls and skeletal remains in various parts of the world. However, most of this evidence mysteriously disappears or is quickly dismissed. Could someone be hiding the truth about these beings? And what if the Nephilim were more than just giants? Could they have been hybrids, the result of a cosmic experiment that spiraled out of control? The Bible says the Nephilim were destroyed, but did their legacy truly vanish? If concrete evidence were ever found, it could rewrite everything we know about the origins of humanity. But the mysteries do not end here. Now we venture into an even deeper enigma, the Book of Enoch, Lost Revelations. What does this forbidden book reveal about the origins of the fallen angels and the hidden secrets of the universe? Among the most enigmatic texts ever written, there is a book that was deliberately removed from the sacred scriptures, a book that describes forbidden secrets, celestial conspiracies, and events that defy human understanding. The Book of Enoch, an ancient manuscript, details stories that seem to have been banned from the Bible. But why? What does it reveal that could change everything we know about the spiritual world? Enoch was a unique man. The Bible states that he walked with God and was no more because God took him. Unlike any other biblical figure, Enoch did not die. He was taken up. But before vanishing, he reportedly recorded astonishing visions of heaven, angels, and a great judgment that was yet to come. One of the most unsettling accounts in the Book of Enoch speaks of the Watchers, a group of angels who descended to earth and took human wives, giving birth to a hybrid race of giants, the Nephilim. But that was not all. These angels taught humanity forbidden knowledge, the art of war, magic, astrology, and even how to alter creation itself. Enraged by this corruption, God condemned these fallen angels to the abyss and commanded a great flood to eradicate the Nephilim. But if the Book of Enoch provides such powerful explanations for Genesis events, why was it excluded from the Bible? Some scholars believe its content was too dangerous, containing truths that could challenge traditional beliefs. Others suggest the book was removed to conceal the forbidden knowledge the Watchers shared with humanity. And what if the Book of Enoch is more than just an ancient text? What if it's a warning? Its pages speak of a return, of a time when fallen angels will walk the earth again, and of an impending judgment that will change everything. But now, we move on to one of the greatest mysteries of history, the Ark of the Covenant. Where is it today? What happened to the most powerful artifact ever created? A sacred artifact, wrapped in gold and mystery. The Ark of the Covenant, the most feared and revered object of the Old Testament, housed the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments and carried the very presence of God. Its power was indescribable. It defeated armies, destroyed enemies, and even took the lives of those who dared touch it without permission. But one day, it vanished. Like a secret buried by time, its location became one of history's greatest enigmas. The Bible tells us that the Ark was kept in the Holy of Holies within Solomon's temple until it mysteriously disappeared from historical records. What happened? Was it destroyed, hidden, or is it under divine protection, waiting for the right time to resurface? Many theories attempt to unravel this mystery. Some believe the Ark was taken by priests before the temple's destruction and hidden in a secret location. One of the most intriguing claims points to the Church of St. Mary of Zion in Ethiopia, where monks claim to have safeguarded it for centuries. However, no one, except for the chosen guardian, is allowed to see it. Truth or myth? Others suggest that the Ark was concealed beneath Jerusalem, possibly under the Temple Mount. Archaeologists have explored underground passages, but no definitive evidence has been found. There are also those who believe it was taken by the Babylonians, or hidden in a remote cave by the prophet Jeremiah. But the most intriguing question remains: does the Ark still hold its power? And what if someone were to find it? Could they awaken something uncontrollable? After all, its last recorded appearance was marked by a supernatural event. Could its return signal something monumental? Now, we move on to another ancient enigma, the Tower of Babel. Was it merely an ambitious construction, or was it truly a bold attempt to reach the heavens? A unified civilization, an unstoppable ambition, a colossal tower meant to touch the heavens. The Tower of Babel remains one of the greatest mysteries of the Old Testament. Built by Noah's descendants, this tower was intended to reach the divine realms, but it was abruptly stopped by an event that changed humanity's destiny forever. According to Genesis, the entire earth spoke one language. Men decided to build a tower so grand and powerful that it would challenge God himself. But then, something inexplicable happened. The Lord descended, confused their languages, and scattered the people across the world. The construction was abandoned, and its true purpose forgotten. But here's the question: was the Tower of Babel just a metaphor, or was it a real project, far more advanced than we can imagine? Some scholars believe that the tower may have been a ziggurat, a massive stepped structure common in Mesopotamia. But what if it was something more? Some bold theories suggest that the Tower of Babel might have been a portal, a real attempt to reach a higher dimension. What if the heavens described by the ancients weren't just the sky, but another plane of existence? Ancient civilizations had remarkable knowledge of astronomy and architecture. Could they have actually built something so monumental that it truly posed a threat? Did God confuse the languages to prevent humanity from advancing too soon? Curiously, the idea of a lost original language appears in various cultures. Some traditions speak of a time when gods and men coexisted, until something separated them forever. If the Tower of Babel was real, where are its remains? Was it completely destroyed, or do its ruins still lie buried beneath the sands of time? Now, we move on to a mystery that left real historical marks: the Pharaoh's lost army. What really happened to the soldiers who pursued Moses? An unstoppable pursuit. Thousands of Egyptian soldiers charging forward with fury, determined to capture the fleeing Hebrews. And then, the impossible happens. The waters of the Red Sea part before Moses, creating a safe path for the people of Israel. But as Pharaoh's army follows, something catastrophic unfolds. The waters come crashing down with devastating force, and the soldiers vanish forever. But here's the mystery. Where are the remains of this army? If thousands of warriors, chariots, and horses were swallowed by the sea, why have no traces ever been found? For centuries, archaeologists and explorers have searched for evidence of this biblical event. Some claim to have discovered chariot wheels and relics beneath the waters of the Gulf of Aqaba, suggesting they could be remnants of the Red Sea crossing. But if that's true, why aren't there Egyptian records of such a colossal disaster? Did Pharaoh's scribes deliberately erase this failure from history? Another intriguing question is the actual location of the Red Sea crossing. Some scholars argue that it may have taken place elsewhere, such as the Sea of Reeds, where a sudden tidal phenomenon could have created the effect described in the Bible. But what if this event was something beyond natural explanation? The biblical account implies that the destruction of the Pharaoh's army was not merely a natural occurrence, but an act of divine intervention. The waters didn't just return, they engulfed the soldiers in a way that left no survivors. Could it have been a supernatural phenomenon, one that made it impossible for any remains to be found? If concrete evidence ever emerges, it could confirm one of the greatest miracles in history. But until then, the fate of Pharaoh's army remains an unsolved enigma. Now we move on to another baffling phenomenon, the manna from heaven. Was it truly celestial food or a mysterious natural event? Imagine wandering through the desert, no water, no food, facing the scorching heat and relentless hunger. This was the fate of the Israelites after fleeing Egypt. But then something extraordinary happened. From the sky, a mysterious substance began to fall, like a divine mist covering the ground every morning. It was called manna, the bread of heaven. But what exactly was this substance? The Bible describes manna as something fine and white, like frost, with a honey-like taste. It could be ground, baked, or cooked, but there were rules. It could only be gathered for one day at a time, except on the eve of the Sabbath, when a double portion was provided. Any attempt to store it for the next day resulted in spoiling, unless it was for the Sabbath. And here lies the mystery. What kind of food behaves this way? How could an endless supply appear every morning and vanish with the sun? Was it truly a miracle or something else? Scientists have attempted to find explanations. Some suggest that manna could be a secretion from insects found in the Sinai Peninsula, a sweet resin formed on local shrubs. But could this really have sustained thousands of people daily? And how could this substance follow supernatural laws, such as lasting longer on the Sabbath without rotting? Others speculate that manna could have been a unique, unknown type of food, perhaps even with celestial origins. Some even propose bolder theories, suggesting it could have been a biotechnological supply, something directly provided by divine intervention to sustain a wandering people. But the biggest question remains: where did the manna go? If it was such a special substance, why was it never seen again? Now, we move on to one of the most enigmatic accounts of the Old Testament, Ezekiel's vision. Was it truly a celestial revelation, or a direct encounter with something far more advanced? A storm brews on the horizon. Lightning flashes across the sky as a powerful wind sweeps the land. And then, an indescribable vision appears before the prophet Ezekiel. Luminous beings, wheels spinning within wheels, radiant lights, and a thunderous sound that shook the earth. But what did he actually see? A divine event? Or something that challenges everything we know about the past? Ezekiel's description, found in the first chapter of his book, is one of the most perplexing passages in the Bible. He speaks of beings with 4 faces, moving without turning their bodies. Above them, a shining firmament, and then a sort of throne, upon which sat a figure resembling a man. But the most puzzling detail is the wheels, interlocking circles covered in eyes, moving in all directions without the need to rotate. Was this just a symbolic vision, Or did Ezekiel witness something beyond human comprehension? Some scholars interpret this as a representation of God's glory and his divine presence. But others see something very different, something technological. Modern researchers have analyzed Ezekiel's account and found striking similarities to descriptions of unidentified flying objects, UFOs. The wheels within wheels resemble advanced propulsion systems, far beyond the knowledge of the ancient world. The brightness, fire, and unrestricted movement, could they be evidence of superior technology? Ezekiel lacked the vocabulary to describe something outside his time. If he had witnessed a craft, how would he have explained it? He simply recorded what he saw, and what he saw defies all conventional explanations. If Ezekiel's vision was truly a record of contact with a superior entity, what does this mean for our understanding of biblical history? And more importantly, could there be other hidden accounts suggesting that humanity has been visited before? Now we move on to another celestial enigma, the Book of Life. Is it a divine record of all souls, or a mysterious code that determines our destiny? What if every name, every soul, and every destiny were already written in an invisible book kept within the heavenly realms? The Bible speaks of a profound mystery, the Book of Life, a divine record that contains the names of those who will inherit eternal life. But what exactly is this book, and who decides whose names are written in it? Since ancient times, this concept has appeared in Scripture. In the book of Exodus, Moses intercedes for Israel, mentioning this hidden record. But now, please forgive their sin, but if not, then blot me out of the book you have written. Exodus 32:32. What did Moses know about this book? Was he referring to something metaphorical, or an actual record kept in the heavens? The most intriguing reference comes from Revelation, where the Book of Life is described as the key to final destiny. Only those whose names are written within it will escape the final judgment. But this raises an even bigger question. Has this book been written since the beginning of time, or is it still being updated? Many believe that the Book of Life is more than just a list of the saved, that it is a divine code, a cosmic archive that contains the essence of every soul. Could it be a celestial database recording everything we do? Some even speculate that this idea parallels modern theories of simulation, suggesting that our reality itself might be part of a divinely programmed system. And what if this book could be accessed? If someone found a way to read its secrets, what would they discover? Is there a way to ensure a name remains eternally inscribed? Now we move on to the final, and perhaps most enigmatic mystery of the Old Testament, Mount Sinai. Was it a sacred site, or a point of contact with forces beyond human comprehension? The sky erupts with blinding flashes of lightning. The ground trembles. A dense, fiery cloud descends upon the mountain's peak, engulfing everything in a spectacle of light and thunder. Mount Sinai, the place where Moses received the tablets of the law, became the setting for one of the most extraordinary events of the Old Testament. But what really happened there? Was it a divine manifestation, or something far beyond human comprehension? The Bible describes a terrifying scene. The people of Israel gathered at the mountain's base saw Sinai consumed in fire and smoke. Celestial trumpets sounded with a deafening roar. Moses ascended alone and vanished for 40 days and 40 nights. When he returned, he carried the tablets inscribed with the 10 Commandments. But something about him had changed. His face glowed with an unearthly radiance, so bright that the people could hardly look at him. And here lies the mystery. What caused this phenomenon? Some interpretations suggest that Moses was exposed to God's direct presence, something no other human could survive, but others propose intriguing possibilities. Could Mount Sinai have been a contact point with something beyond our world? Theories emerge from curious details in the account. The fire from the sky, the dense cloud, The thundering sounds, the dazzling lights, could these be ancient descriptions of an advanced technology? Did Moses experience something that transported him to another plane of existence? Even more intriguing, reports claim that the peak of Mount Sinai remains scorched to this day, as if it had been exposed to an extreme heat source. Could this be physical evidence of what took place? Regardless of the explanation, Mount Sinai remains one of the Bible's greatest mysteries. What did Moses truly experience on that sacred summit? Did he receive only laws, or something far greater? Now, we reach the end of this journey. But what do all these mysteries mean for us today? Prepare for a powerful and thought-provoking conclusion. Throughout history, the Old Testament has been an endless source of mysteries and unanswered questions. The Garden of Eden, the Nephilim, the Ark of the Covenant, the Tower of Babel. Each of these enigmas seems to point to something greater, something that challenges our understanding of reality. But are we truly ready to accept the answers? Or are there secrets that are meant to remain hidden? What would happen if the Garden of Eden were found? If its location were revealed, could we see with our own eyes the remnants of paradise lost? And the Nephilim, were they just legends or evidence that hybrid beings, part human, part divine, once walked among us? If fossils or concrete records of these giants were uncovered one day, how would that change our understanding of humanity? And the Book of Enoch, hidden for centuries, concealing secrets about fallen angels and a divine judgment, was it removed from the Bible because its revelations were too dangerous? Or did it contain truths we are still not ready to understand? The disappearance of the Ark of the Covenant is another great mystery. If it were ever found, what would it mean? Would it still hold the divine power that the ancients feared? Could its rediscovery trigger prophetic events? The Tower of Babel reminds us of humanity's desire to defy the limits set by God. But what if it wasn't just a building? What if it was an attempt to connect humankind to something beyond our dimension? Today, modern science relentlessly pursues ways to reach new worlds and realities. Could we, unknowingly, be rebuilding the Tower of Babel on another scale? And then there's the Red Sea. If Pharaoh's army truly vanished as the Bible describes, does that prove that miracles happened before human eyes? The manna from heaven, was it a divine gift or a food source with an unearthly origin? Ezekiel witnessed something he could not explain. Wheels within wheels, glowing lights, beings that moved beyond the limits of physics. What if his account was not just a spiritual vision, but a direct record of contact with something far more advanced? The Book of Life suggests that our fate may already be written, but can we change it? If this divine record truly exists, is it just a symbol or a hidden reality that governs our destiny without us realizing it? And finally, Mount Sinai, the place where Moses met God, or something beyond human comprehension. Fire, thunder, an intense light that transformed his very appearance. If science could explain what truly happened there, would we be ready for the answer? What all these mysteries have in common is that they challenge our perception of the world. They make us question whether we truly know everything we should, or if the truth remains hidden, waiting to be revealed. Now the question is for you. Which of these mysteries intrigues you the most? Had you heard about these biblical enigmas before? Leave a comment, share this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. What else remains hidden, waiting to be discovered?